What's poppin'? I'm making a video right now because I'm in the Halloween spirit. And I feel like telling a couple of Halloween tales as I drive. Okay, so this isn't a perfect video. That's okay with me. And if it's okay with you, then keep watching. If you don't like Halloween, and if you demand perfection, stop watching. So anyway, 2 tales about Halloween. I learned these 2 tales this past summer. It's October. Halloween is 2 weeks away. Basically, I'm just gonna get right into it. Both of these tales are related to fucking Ireland. If you didn't know, the holiday Halloween has Celtic roots. It's from Ireland, believe it or not. So technically, anybody celebrating Halloween that's not Irish is culturally appropriating. I'm just joking, but it does have Halloween roots. If you go back in time to pagan Ireland, there's a 3-day period. It's called something like Sauron. I know Sauron is a character from Lord of the Rings. It's spelled Samharin or something like that, but it's called like Sauron. I think it's Sauron is how they say it. And basically, Sauron was a 3-day period that existed in Ireland from the October 29th to the 31st. And this was a very dark period in Ireland. People basically went crazy during this time period. They were so scared. There was a lot of terror going on. And there was a couple reasons for that. Firstly, October is the time of the year when things start to get really dark. You know, the sun starts to set earlier. It's just a little bit more naturally dark around. And therefore, it's just a little bit more ominous. You know, I don't got to explain that. Secondly, there was a very mythical and spiritual aura going on around this time. In Irish mythology, there is a concept. It's called the otherworld. A lot can be said about this. You might have heard the phrase Tír na Nog, which means like the fountain of youth, the land of youth. Basically, in the otherworld is where it's said that demons live in the otherworld. It's said that like good spirits live in the otherworld, heroes live in the otherworld, the dead live in the otherworld. They say that time passes a lot slower in the otherworld, and during the time period of the 29th and 31st of October in the otherworld, this is when the gates between our world and the otherworld are closest, and the spirits and the demons from the otherworld are able to make their way into our world. And even hear about the leprechaun and other spirits. Like the leprechaun is, you know, they talk about him as a little green guy who's just he just fiends for gold, and he'll give you. The leprechaun is a mischievous, cunning, evil little man, and he doesn't even wear green all the time. That's what I learned. Regardless, during the Halloween period, the 29th to the 31st, a lot of bad stuff happens, man. In Irish pagan history. Basically, these demons make their way into our worlds. Not all of them, but some of them are able to. They play tricks on people. They cause people to go crazy. The demons making their way in is also why people started to dress up. It's why people started dressing up in Ireland, because they wanted to hide from the demons, and I also think that it got propped up so people would start dressing up. No one knows who's a demon, who's not, and all this stuff was going on. And demons come in, they would kind of just like fuck with people, you know, make shit go absolutely insane. And then obviously I don't know the whole truth here, but as in response to this time period where the weather was shitty, no one was happy because winter was around the corner and food was going to be in shortage in the winter back in, you know, prehistoric Ireland. I'm talking like 500 AD, even before that. Times are real dark. And in pagan Ireland was primarily ruled by the Druid class. Druid, D-R-U-I-D, were the priests and the lawmakers and the philosophers of Ireland. They were the top of the food chain. They controlled the resources. They controlled the society for the most part. I'm not saying like the elite. I'm just saying like this was the lawmaking and the religion of Ireland prior to the arrival of Christianity. And so the Druids, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but they would sacrifice people during Halloween, 29th of October to the 31st, and they would bring them into these they were pretty much like Stonehenge, these monumental sites that you can find all around Ireland. I was just over visiting a few of them this past summer, and they would sacrifice people there. And we all know the Halloween tradition of bobbing for apples. It's been a few years since I've done that, but basically bobbing for apples, it's rooted from the Druids used to collect a few people from the town, and they said, we're going to sacrifice you, or you can go in and bob for an apple. You get one try, or you're going to die. And the water in these cauldrons would be boiling hot, 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and people could either duck their face into the water and just basically be deformed through getting burned by the scalding hot water, or they would be executed and sacrificed. So really dark times. They people don't really remember about Halloween is that there are spiritual roots to all this, and we don't dress up in scary outfits for no reason. It's because the connection to the other world, to the demons, it's this close in Halloween time. So that's just one of the scary stories. The other scary story doesn't even have a connection to Halloween itself. It is a story of St. Patrick. Do you know why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Well, when I was out in Ireland, I was doing some research. I was like, what is up with St. Patrick's Day? What's going on here? And remember I mentioned the Druids? I mentioned the Druids earlier, and St. Patrick, his reason for fame is tied directly in with the Druids. So, to be brief here, but still scary, St. Patrick executed the Druids, and he took out the ruling class, the Druids from Ireland, and installed the Christianity ruling class, the Catholicism, Irish Catholicism. He put in place the priests, executed the Druids at the same landmarks, the same monumental landmarks that I spoke about earlier, in the same spots. For example, the Hill of Tara, in which you can find near Dublin in Ireland, about maybe 30 minutes north of Dublin. He executed them there. And, the tales behind it talk about some insane, crazy battles that went on there. But basically, when you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, you are celebrating the removal of the pagan traditions of Ireland, and you're celebrating the acceptance of Catholicism and Christianity and modern religion into the Irish ways. That's all. That's it. Those are the scary stories. When you look around Halloween, it's not an accident. Halloween is not just a random thing that goes on. You might be closer to demons than you even think. That's it. Have a happy Halloween, everybody.